For tonight, I'm going to do a fresh crack. For a Fresh Crack Friday, we're going to do Castle and Key Restoration Rye. This is a single barrel Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey. Comes in at 114.1 proof, and it's aged 3 years from Castle and Key. We've done a few reviews on Castle and Key. I haven't done their rye yet, just their bourbon and their wheated bourbon. So we'll see what this one tastes like. This one came out, I think it's 2020 on the bottom of it. Let me see if I can see. No, 2023, sorry. So this is a 2023 bottle of Castle and Key Restoration Rye. So we'll crack this open, give it a smell and a taste, and see what it stacks up to the rest of the Castle and Key lineup. But we'll get this one open and let it breathe for a little bit, and then we'll give it a smell and a taste. They have some really good corks on Castle and Key, I will say that. Since it is a rye, it's a little bit lighter than their bourbon. It's not as dark, that's for sure. 3 years is kind of youthy, so I'm hoping that at least the 3 years will be enough to impose some barrel flavor on it or not. Off the smell, it's sweet bready. Get a little bit of that rye spice coming through. Yeah, that's got a pretty decent nose. Smells really good for being young. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that's really sweet. A lot of sweetness up front. Not a whole lot of the rye coming through. Get a little bit on the back end. It's got a pretty decent finish, but it's very sweet. You don't get that rye spice. So for this being a single barrel rye, it's very, I hate to use the word smooth, but it is. It doesn't have the rye spice on the back end that gives that extra heat. The finish just went away. Let's go in for a second sip. Okay, on the second sip, still get that sweetness, but the rye starts to come through a little bit. That was my first sip of whiskey for today, so maybe I'm just getting acclimated to it. But the rye hits the mid palate, and then it goes into the finish. It's still very light. The rye spice isn't punchy at all. This is a good rye. So if you ever see a single barrel of Castle and Key's rye, I recommend you get it. We'll leave it at that, but it comes in at the 114.1 proof, so not a very high proof. It's over the 100 mark, so it's a good balance. It's definitely a good bottle. So if you see that, go ahead and pick it up off of the shelf. We'll be doing some other one-offs that I have on hand, but this was a fresh crack on this bottle, and we'll get into the next bottle in the next video. Y'all have a good one.